Hi, and welcome. A lot of people have asked me over the years, how do you balance family and running a business and playing on sports teams and doing things I'm passionate about and being creative? And my response is always around being incredibly intentional in my life. You know that when you don't have your focus on what it is that you want to create, then you're literally just responding to life. Things happen, you respond. Things happen, you respond. And I want to take you out of that paradigm and into a new paradigm that says, how do I co-create the best life I can live now? Because our life and what we're experiencing and how we connect to it is literally a reflection of our thoughts, of our beliefs, of where we put our energy. And if we are not diligent around focusing our ideas, our thoughts, our beliefs, and where we put our energy, then we can have all of these scattered experiences that don't really serve us. So one of the things that I want you to think about is, how do you create a life of intention? How do you create the life that you are choosing to live because you can live it, because it's there for you, because you've dreamed it, because you know what is going to make you happy? That is taking yourself out of being a passenger in life to being a driver of your life. So let's think about this. When you are driving your life, the first thing that you want to know is really around, what is your purpose? Like, what excites you about life? What gets you up in the morning? What do you want your life's work to be about? Or what is your contribution to life? Any of those questions, if you can answer them, will start you down this path of creating the best life that you can live. So the first thing is to think about those questions. What is your contribution? What do you want to wake up every day doing? Or how do you want to be in life? Because life isn't always just about doing, but it's also around how you want to come to your life. Do you want to come and play in your life from a grounded, centered, optimistic place, no matter what's going on around you? Or are you going to run around and be this harried person in their own life? Like, you get to decide and make choices and be intentional about that. So the first thing is, what is the kind of life you want to create for yourself? What is your purpose? How do you want to be? What do you want to be known for? And then the second thing is, how do you take those big ideas and concepts and look at your life and start layering them into your life? So for instance, in my life, I like to look at, what am I doing for my spiritual growth? What am I doing for my personal growth? What am I doing for fun and adventure? What am I doing around all my relationships? What am I doing to keep myself fit, healthy, and happy? So those are the categories I look at. And then I look under each of those categories, what's possible? What do I want to do? How do I want to layer all these things in? So what I want to do is then start thinking about what's possible. How do you layer all these things in? How do you get to create that kind of life for yourself? What I typically do is I look at the broad categories first. So if I want to travel and have adventures, I'll look at, what months of the year do I want to go? Then I go to health and well-being, and I say, what are those things that I can do on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis that is going to keep me healthy? And then I layer that in. Then I look at my family and relationships and what do I want to experience? And then I layer those in, whether it's, date nights every week with my husband, time to play with my kids, adventures with my friends, whatever it is, I begin to layer that in. Again, what you're doing is being intentional around what you put into your life so that life reflects back exactly what you want. Then I look at my career, my business. What am I going to do this year? How do I want to work this year? Years ago, when my kids were all in college, one of my goals was when they did semester abroads, my husband and I could go abroad as well for a semester at a time. Now, that may sound like a simple thing, but it led me to organizing and moving into doing my business in a whole new way. And that was almost a 2-year process to take my business from a in-person, one-on-one kind of business to a business that was virtual, and I worked with many. And this was way before the pandemic. So I had to have a business plan. I had to learn all these new ways of doing business, of running groups, so that I could make my business virtual. So that when my kids went to college, I had the opportunity to live in other places. These are the things that you think about when you are running and creating an intentional life. A life of meaning, a life that's going to fulfill you, a life that's going to bring you joy, a life that's going to bring you happiness. Because when you focus on these things in your life, you're going to welcome in so much activities, ways of being, relationships, connections to the people you really care about, in a way that serves you and them. So begin with your purpose. Then look at what are the life areas you want to focus on. I gave you some of mine. There are other life areas. Some people focus on money and friendships and partnerships. And I mentioned health, personal development and growth strategies. For a while, I focused on creativity, like how was I going to get my creativity out there in the world? How did I get to play in a very creative way? So think about those life areas. Once you have them, then jot down what is it you want to experience in each one of them. And then once you have that, pull out a calendar, and look at how do you begin to layer these things into your life. It's a lot simpler than you think to live a life intentionally than to just respond to your life. And I will say this, it's a lot simpler, and your level of happiness and satisfaction goes through the roof because you're putting into your life exactly what's going to bring you the most joy and happiness. So I hope this has helped everyone to think about what's powerful in their lives, what they know about what they want to do, and how to go about creating your most intentional life. After you watch the video, leave a comment or just give us a high five. I love to see all the people that end up watching these videos after the fact and the changes that they're beginning to make. All right, everyone, have a fantastic day. Be intentional of how you want to be, how you want to show up, and what kinds of things you want to add into your life, because they'll bring you so much value. Take care.